Is it just me, or does Samara Weaving know how to scream like nobody else? Like, her scream is just so screamy. Of course, we're talking about Ready or Not 2. It just released in theaters, and here is what I feel. My expectations going in were fairly high because I really enjoyed the first one. That is one of my favorite films. So of course, when this was announced and I saw trailers, I was super, super excited to see this. And it took my expectations, and it pretty much met them. Like, it did exactly what you expected a Ready or Not film to do. There's gore, there's comedy, there's like some intense action scenes that are really great. Like, this film met my expectations and did exactly what you expected a Ready or Not film to do. If you don't know what Ready or Not 2 is about, they're pretty similar, but Ready or Not 2 is about Grace, who just escaped being hunted by her in-laws and her husband's family due to a satanic ritual, and now because of that, she set off a slew of rules and ritualistic bindings of law that now she has to go through another ritual stylistic hunting to survive and become the head of the council. This movie is perfect for you if you love, like, just not very serious horror movies, because in no way is this a horror movie in any sense of the word. Like, there are a few, like, scary, like, jump scares that got me a little bit, but it's not like you're not going in there expecting to be scared. You're going in there expecting to laugh, expecting to see action, expecting to see a lot of blood, because there is a ton of blood in this film. So if you like that stuff, this movie is definitely for you. And if you like the first one, this one is definitely for you as well. If you didn't like the first one, then you probably shouldn't go see this one, because they are very, very similar in the way the stories are, and the way the action is, and the way the gore is. But if you enjoy that stuff, this film is definitely for you. This film has a lot of pros. Let's talk about them. The sound quality in this film, and the visuals, and the look of this film looks amazing. I went and seen it in Dolby. When a movie is available in Dolby, I'm sure as hell gonna go see it in Dolby, because most movies look fantastic in Dolby, and it sounded great, it looked great. This film was made for this. Like, it just looks fantastic on the big screen in Dolby Atmos. The sound is insanely well done. Like, it is loud, it is like bumping bass, like, it is like, the sound is like very noticeable in this film. Like, I don't find myself like noticing sound very much, like other than like Undertone, which is like supposed to be about the sound and the way they like experimented with the sound. But this, like, just being like a relatively normal movie that doesn't have anything specifically too noticeable about sound, this one like really had me noticing a lot of the sounding, because it's very like well done and very like just bassy and thumpy and like aggressive sound, and that's good for this film. Let's talk about some of the cons though. This movie is very slow, especially in the beginning, because it's been so long since the first one. It's been 7 years. They do a lot to try to get people who haven't seen the first one, or maybe have forgotten a lot of the stuff about the first one. They do a lot to try to get you back in and remember that story. So there's a lot of flashbacks towards the beginning. There's a lot of explanation, and there's just a lot of like subplot to get you invested into this. So it takes a long time to get where we need to go. So that kind of hurts this film a little bit, because they're doing so much to make you remember the first one, when I don't think they really needed to do that, because if you're seeing this one, you've most likely seen the first one and had a lot of enjoyment out of it, because that movie's great. Another thing I will say is, like, the story is very similar to the first one. Like, there's not much difference in this film. Like, there are a few, like, slew of differences, but it's a lot like the first one. There's not very much difference. So that kind of hurts it too, because I feel like they just, like, copy and pasted the same kind of story. But all in all, like, it is still something I got a lot of enjoyment out of, and it's very, very fun. It's just very, like, a copy-paste type of story. But of course, if you guys haven't seen any marketing about this, you're very lucky, because they've done a ton of marketing for this film. Like, I've seen nothing but commercials for this film, interviews and stuff like that. There's a ton of marketing for this film, and that leads me into my next question. Did the cast have fun? And I think they absolutely had a blast. Like, just the kind of vibe this movie felt, and just like the way every kind of actor had like some kind of comedy in it. And not only that, like being able to play off almost every single actor and actress in this film got to play off with the same, like a different actor and actress. Like nobody was like together with the same person like most of the film. They got to switch up a lot, and that gives you a lot of time to play off of other characters and stuff like that. And I think that gives a lot of fun vibes to the film. And you can definitely feel that in some of these scenes where, you know, they're just having fun and just having some comedic moments, because there is a lot of like comedy and just these fun moments throughout this film. All right, the standout moment of the film, the scene that made you feel like this movie's gonna get crazy, it's gonna get wild, and this is gonna get crazier than it has been. Now, this one is gonna be an interesting one because the standout moment of the film is actually like one of the last scenes in the film, and I'll explain why in just a moment. So again, if you haven't seen the film, do skip this part because I am going to discuss, especially towards the ending of the film, but I'm going to be talking about a major point in the film. All right, that was plenty of time for you. The standout moment of this film was very end where she's marrying, you know, Titus, and she decides, now that I have killed Titus and I am the head of house or the head of the council, I am going to remove myself, throw my ring in the pit, and everybody's going to fight for it. And this scene alone just is so hectic, so crazy, and so fun to see some like crazy stuff out of this, where now it's a everybody for themselves kind of thing with a lot of comedy thrown out. This is the moment where I was smiling the most, feeling like the most like hype, and this is obviously the standout moment of this film. All right, I finally came up with a name for this segment. Let's talk about Ant's 3 big questions. Would I watch it again? Would I recommend it? And is it going to be better in streaming or on theaters? So, would I watch it again? For sure. Like, this would be fun to do once it releases on streaming, or even if I get it on physical, because I would like to own both of these films, like Ready or Not and Ready or Not 2 on physical. That'd be nice to have. To do like a double feature, watch the first one, then immediately watch the second one. I feel like that would give a very, very fun and energetic feel to this film as well, watching it back to back with the last one. So I definitely probably will watch it again because I've enjoyed the first one so much, and I enjoyed this one as well, that it'll be a very fun experience to see how it feels watching them back to back. Now, would I recommend it? Absolutely. Like, now there are some drawbacks to this film, as I mentioned in the cons area, but there are a lot of great moments as well that you can have a lot of fun with. If you enjoyed the first one, I'm going to keep saying this, you are definitely going to enjoy this one. Like, it's not a bad film. It's very enjoyable, and you'll definitely have some fun in it. But that leads me into my next thing of, is it going to be better on streaming or theaters? This movie is a movie that should be enjoyed in theaters. But I'm going to say I think this film is going to do better on streaming, and there's only one reason, and that is because of a little film called Project Hail Mary that came out and I reviewed yesterday on YouTube. This movie is getting so much attention, Project Hail Mary, so I think all the attention that could be given to Ready or Not 2 is obviously going to go to that film, and if people are going to choose between the two, I think that film is going to get the majority of the views and the screenings and the tickets rather than Ready or Not 2. So I do think Ready or Not 2 is going to be a hit on streaming rather than in theaters. But if you've got the time to go see both, I recommend going to see both in theaters because they are both very enjoyable in Dolby Atmos. So based on everything I've said in the last 8 to 10 minutes, I gave this film a 3-star rating. And there's a reason for that. Because of some of the drawbacks, as like a lot of the slow moving pace of the story, because of them trying to involve so much of the first film to try to get you to understand the second film, it really brings a drawback towards the beginning. But I gave it a little bit of a boost in the rating because of some of the gore and the fun and the action, because it feels very much like the first film. But it's not the first film. The first film is very, very fun. It's one of my favorite, action horror movies. And it just doesn't hold up to that film. But it is still an enjoyable film that you will get a lot of fun out of. So with all that being said, guys, I thank you guys for stopping by once again to listen to my rant and review. I will see you guys in the next review video next week when we got some. I might upload a cozy video or something like that. But until we get some news or a review next week, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you check out those links, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!